What the fuck? You know you've struck gold when an anime manages to become a viral meme from its teaser trailer alone of all things. Shikanoko Noko Noko Koshtantan, or My Dear Friend Nokotan as it's known in English, just started airing on Crunchyroll. So, does it live up to the hype? Was the precedent for its meme potential set too high? Come with me and let's find out together as we watch the first episode of Shikanoko Noko Noko Koshtantan, where the D in ADHD stands for deer. The first sin is the audacity of Crunchyroll to ask me if I wanted to skip that amazing opening. Wait, sorry, wrong YouTube show. So the anime opens with Torako Koshi, our protagonist and resident perfecto girl, who's trying to hide the fact that she likes Tokyo Revengers, as to not be shunned by her peers for poor taste. And she'd been doing a good job keeping her secret, until... So after breaking the fourth wall for the second time within the first 4 minutes of the episode, and acknowledging the very important plot point that not only does a deer-girl hybrid exist, but that she also shouldn't have horns unless she is secretly male, Koshi helps the deer girl down from the telephone pole. And in case you hadn't guessed already, this is our titular Noko Shikanoko, whose horns apparently give her telepathy. And that right there is our plot, folks. Koshi wants to keep her gangster past a secret, and Noko's senses and lack of brain cells causes antics that threatens to expose it. I don't expect it's going to be a particularly deep or complex story, just silly, goofy fun following the lives of this very wacky and colourful cast of characters, featuring a wide variety of insane visual and audio gags. Speaking of which, this is normally the part of a script where I'd dub over the characters and create an abridged series style skit out of the scene. However, I don't think any script or amount of editing can top what actually happens here. Yup, I'm sold. This anime was not just some one-hit wonder, it's got so much meme potential. I imagine I'm going to be seeing clips of this on Twitter all season. Wait, why the hell is the teacher interested in that statement? With this following scene, I realised 3 things. The first is that the narrator reminds me a lot of the one from Kaguya-sama Love is War. The second is that the voice acting from both Koshi and Noko is absolutely stellar. And the third is to never try eating deer crackers. But going back to the voice acting thing, both lead females have such an impressive vocal range, and it really shows in this scene, with the both of them making a lot of switch-ups. But Koshi especially, she changes so swiftly and smoothly between her delinquent persona and her honor student one. It really is amazing. I wonder who the voice actor is. Hatsune Miku!
A body has been discovered!
What makes this scene even funnier is when you realise how short the ladder Noko fell from is. It really makes you wonder how the hell did she manage to impale herself with her own horn like that, when the fall must have been only about a meter at most. Regardless, what you're about to see is the most amount of blood I've seen in an anime for a while. Yet they still somehow made watching someone bleed out absolutely hilarious. So it turns out Noko is cleaning out this storeroom in order to turn it into what I imagine will be a primary set piece for the remainder of the series, the Deer Club, which is a ridiculous concept but an outstanding move on Shikanoko's part, creating a club whose sole purpose is just to pamper her. At the end of the episode here, we also see the first developments of the plot, and likely the origins of the Anti-Deer Club, which was mentioned in the teasers, scaring the narrator and creating a nice cliffhanger. And with a very unique ending that features actual footage of deer and deer cracker production, it's the end of the first episode. I have to say that was a very well-rounded episode and a brilliant introduction that did everything it needed to, I think. It not only introduced us to our characters and showcased some amazing voice work, but it also proved itself as a gag comedy that isn't just a one-trick pony. Or would it be a one-trick deer? People certainly had high hopes for this anime after the virality of its opening and the meme it spawned, and I'd like to think it lived up to those expectations. It really reminds me of Nichijou, except with an actual plotline, which is great, as it ties all the stupid skits and ridiculous gags together in a way that keeps me invested, which is where Nichijou fell short for me personally, as I felt the gags in that show started to feel stale after a while, because the show's foundations was just its ridiculousness without much more to offer. This show, however, is shaping up to give us a nice blend of plot and gag comedy. If this show was intended to be a spiritual successor to Nichijou, then the deer and principal fight scene in that anime suddenly has some weird new implications. But I guess that would explain how a deer-girl hybrid was brought into existence. Anyways, I'd give the first episode an 8 out of 10. Do I think this is going to be some life-changing masterpiece? Absolutely not. This is definitely going to be more of one of those feel-good shows you watch each week that puts a smile on your face without fail. And it certainly has shown its meme potential. I just hope it's able to keep on delivering more like this episode, so my Twitter timeline can continue to be filled with clips and edits. I'm also intrigued as to where the plot is heading and what other characters we have yet to meet. I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this show. And hey, if people like this style of video, perhaps I'll make a review for the next episode as well next week. But for now, I need to end this video so I can travel to Nara, Japan. I have a sudden urge to pet deer and eat crackers.